Hey, it's me. How you doing? Starting running a little bit late. I'm actually at a get together. I'm in the basement, underneath the floorboards, recording this. I put the notice up this morning that I was going to go live, and I wanted to hold fast to that. So I'm actually just. I was like, well, I'm gonna go do something online. I'll be back in like an hour, if that or so. So it's a different location for me, different place for me to be doing these things. So if I have to pause or I put something on mute for a second, it's because someone came downstairs to like grab something or whatever. I'm just like in the basement, near the couch, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to hang back for a second and do a little bit more searching, pulling some things forward for the video. And let's see, I'm just going to hang back for a second and do a Oh, hi, Annex. How's it going? I was getting a little. Oh, wait a second. I hate when it does that. It goes in and out, in and out. I told you the guys in the past that bothers me. It looks like those Russian doll eggs. You're like pulling the thing off for. Yes, I'm doing swell. Let's see. I'm just gonna keep looking for a few things. Need a mod. I don't even know. I've never had more than maybe 3 people ever come by during a live. So, and actually, I don't think I know how to work that configuration yet. So tonight, I'm gonna say no, but definitely in the future, yeah, I guess as more people come to look and listen. But yeah, I think it's been cool. A few times I have had like a few people in the stream. I think it ended up being like maybe 3 of us. So it became this like kind of freewheeling conversation, but it's so strange when you're like behind the I guess everyone's behind a keyboard, but anyway. So let's see. I want to find out. I've been looking for. See, I stopped by work and I found it online on there, but obviously I didn't save it because I didn't have anywhere to save it. Where's that damn picture? This is wrong. So I'm still here, just doing a quick little search. Let's see. Maybe it's. No, we already did the search. If I could just find the Daily Mail one again, that's probably where it is. Maybe that's what I did early. Still here. The kids. Okay. There it is. Okay. Oh, it is the Daily Mail article. Cool. Okay. And where is the one? Fatigue. To be honest, you can just. Yeah. Okay. That's what we'll do. Okay. So I think I figured out where I want to start this. So what I'm going to do is. Let's just watch this real quick. I didn't see this before. This will be helpful.
Hey, Holmes. I'm so glad you're here. Come with me for a day in the life. I'm going to show you my favorite spots in Toronto. Come on. I really wanted to show you the Shangri-La Hotel. I love this spot, especially when you need a good massage. The spa upstairs, so good. We're at Soho House, Toronto, which is basically TIG headquarters for me. I write my stories here, I take my meetings here, and it's kind of amazing because all over the world when I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base. You're making me cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Megan, one tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds. So we're here in Kensington Market. I love it so much. They have pedestrian Sundays. It's a lot of fun. My favorite fishmonger Hooks is down there. I get my meat from Sandigan's, Blackbird Bakery. You can bring your dogs too. Bogart loves it. Hi. She's actually a really sweet woman. I've asked her for so many things, and she's like, "What are you looking for, honey? Anything where you're doing like supporting local farmers and artisans, you have to do that. It's just the best, and the quality is so much better." Of course. What's your name?
Go Hub.
Go Hug. Megan, nice to meet you. Now we're at my favorite restaurant, the Harvard Room. Matter of fact, I had my birthday party here last summer in the back patio with my cat making soup. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You got to see all of my favorite places in Toronto, and it's been so much fun. If you want to find out more of my favorite places, check out thetig.com. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Oh, cool. Oh, my friend's kid does that with the berries. Okay. So, yeah, this things kind of changed directions a pinch because I started finding all these TIG videos. Oh, thank you. Yeah, even if you're not doing a lot. Oh, cool. I'll keep that in mind because I'm gonna, as far as well, hopefully I'll see things kind of grow outwards a little bit in terms of volume and people watching the stream. So, and your Meghan Markle review was the bomb. Oh, thanks. So that was a clip. So I have like a list here. What I think I'm just gonna do is move through the list in just this seamless way and just brush on like 5 or 6 different things. And then I have a list that actually came from a video by MsArchDuchess, and someone kindly in the comments section just outlined the basic 15 points that she was covering. And if I pause this, I can still see the comments, right? Maybe that's what's making it continuously do that. Gosh, I'm still learning this anyway. So I have like a setup, but basically, so what I'm shifting gears is because, well, here I guess I have to show you now because So I remember just hearing about it briefly. Hearing about it briefly in passing, and I was like, oh, she had like a lifestyle blog site, the TIG, which is true. But as you can see, this is the original website. But due to, marrying Prince Harry and all that jazz, she had to shut down most like the social media and what have you. So this is just like a splash page that's left here on it. I guess I can I don't need to read it. You can go to thetig.com and you can see it too. But just looking at the pictures, these are some that I've seen her in the past doing, was it Botswana? Or wherever she was doing charity work in Africa. Really cool henna design here. I'm assuming that's her in the water. Her kind of a candid, photo, some watermelon, like a espresso with TIG written in foam. Her and Larry King. It's like some kind of like tomatoes, garbanzos, and maybe some feta cheese. Her meeting someone and greeting them. Another kind of little travel out and about photo. So later on, I guess I don't know if I want to go right there just yet, but there's a reason I'm showing you kind of the TIG in this lifestyle blog and just even that clip that we just watched, her out and about, shopping local, acting local, thinking global, etc. So I think what I want to just do, I'm just going to pick up this page of notes that I have here, and I'm just going to move through them, and then I'll spend a little bit more time on a few things, and then maybe we'll just jump in because there's a clip from Crystal and Kira's, and that she did maybe last week about what Meghan Markle's mother means to swirling Black women, and I even extrapolate beyond that because that's where I would definitely like to start. and showing you this clip, but then there's about 2 or 3 other things that beyond that really come to mind that I want to add. So let's start here. This is probably a little bit better, a little more audio visual for us to kind of jump off with.
Now Doria, let's think about this. Doria met Thomas on a set, an LA set, in 1979. What kind of a Black woman do you think that she was? That she would give Thomas Markle the time of day and would date him and marry him in the 1970s and early 80s? Is that the kind of Black woman who makes her own decisions, that is not heavily influenced by what her community, the surrounding community says what she should be? Do you think that she cared about what other people were saying? Do you think that she cared even what white people were saying? I think she exactly, Jack Pop, had heard the list, because at the time, Thomas Markle was doing extremely well. By that time, he was well established as a lighting director for General Hospital.
Okay, I think you kind of get the layout there, and there's something else I want to go back to later. But so this appeared in the Daily Mail. I'm sorry, December 2017. Okay. Meghan's uncle reveals how the strong woman in his family, including her hippie bride mother with flowers in her hair, nurture strong, no-nonsense values in Harry's future wife. And so this is one of the earliest things I remember seeing, is this all kind of came out and about, is how they were married. It was one of the first pictures I saw. The two of them. It's such a, I don't know, there's something about that photo. And I remember when I first saw it, as all the details are kind of coming together about who's Meghan Markle and this and that. And, oh, she's biracial. And I just love this photo. I think it's so cute. And it's just this kind of like a lot of whimsy in her mother's face. And, you kind of don't really know, maybe they're just joking or hanging out or whatever. There's obviously, those photos that, everybody knows the saying, pictures worth 1,000 words, etc. It definitely kind of has the vibe, is one of those moments. And I think there's a second one. Yeah. And kind of vibe, it looks like it's just maybe the same place, but just a different angle or what have you that's taken at. So I guess starting here, the one thing that I noticed, or I kind of thought about, we've all heard about the dress, and it's maybe kind of one of those 70-30. I don't want to say it's that sharp. Maybe 50. I would say it's like a 50-50 split of some people saying, "Oh, it was terrible." Someone I know said, it looked like a napkin. Like, why was it blah 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 blah, so plain or so this or so that? And I hadn't really thought about it until today when I was looking this picture up for a separate kind of point that I wanted to make. But this is a great observational point to begin. Is look at how simple it is, and it's not even like a traditional wedding dress. Obviously, it looks like maybe a light. It's like one of those kind of like, no, Diane von Furstenberg, she kind of pioneered the wrap dress. I can't remember what style this is. Don't quote me on it. But it's like a nice little shirt dress. It's all white. It's relatively simple. It just really, it looks like something you would actually probably just wear to work. It's obviously one of those kind of like, I don't want to say fly by night, but one of those weddings that, people just had and are just kind of hanging out. It's just very casual California. And I keep saying California cool, but like it's just very light, laid back, low key, hippie-ish. And she looks great. I mean, she looks tiny. Look at her little waist and everything in here. My goodness. And he's got his suit. I mean, they look like if they without the flowers in her hair or the flowers in his hand. I don't know. You think they might just be going out to dinner, just be walking about. There's just something really simple here. Now, we already saw the TIG, and again, you can go to the TIG.com and see this. It's just a kind of goodbye letter statement for the blog. I don't know how long it ran for, maybe like a year or so, or what have you. But so then we switch over to. I wish I could do a side by side, but I can't. Just. So I guess the word on the street is everyone's looking to try to like start making their kind of knockoff versions. You know, which happens like every time. She's like, make it big, big. But look, but even so, then in retrospect now, look at the wedding dress that Meghan Markle wore, and you know the whole like, oh my God, it's so this, it's so plain. I get it. There wasn't a whole lot of like snazzy pizzazz to it. It was just a very, you know, I don't want to keep fiddling with the picture sizing, but everyone knows if you're watching this, you have to know what the dress looks like. But here's a couple Google images from beyond. But so when I look and I can contrast both dresses. Not that they're the same cut. It's a similarity in kind of style, and this is one of the there's just a loose notes that I wrote down. California cool, upbringing and location. So I think a lot of people got so lost in, you know, why it wasn't this or that. And that was one key thing they were missing. But then it also kind of leads to another point in this whole story over the past week or two. And this is happening from different camps. It's happening white camps, black women camps, black men camps, everyone discussing and looking at this thing through different lenses. Is they're kind of like getting so lost in the black, the half black, the black, or biracial, but mostly the black. And when you remove, like, and that's another point that I made, when you remove part of that from the story here, this is one thing that is like maybe numerous things, even just the TIG and a lot of like the kind of things that Meghan's into and the kind of the cause that she champions, things she does, like they remind me so much of people, women that I've known through school and through my 20s and even through this day, who are just white or just non-black women who, you know, they have like wine that they like, they have favorite foods that they like, they do little travel, they shop, and they like, there's something about the TIG that seems very like, if you told me like one of the white women that went from the burbs I went to high school with or college with ran that blog, just sub her out for that person, I wouldn't flinch. I'm like, oh yeah, and that it's weird. But I've earned enough beatings and bullshit from black people, predominantly. Not to say there aren't a few whites mixed in there, but mostly black people, to say like something dot 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 like a white girl or white boy or white person. I try not to ever say that, but especially in this conversation, this is probably what isn't the first time that I'll say it. And I need to kind of litter the video with that reference. So so getting back to the story of the two dresses, it's like everyone got so lost in the whole black, the race, the biracial thing, and then everyone's like, oh, it's just so simple, what's going on? Well, a big part of it, I'd argue, is like this kind of low key Caliness, like they both do yoga, and I guess I'll probably come to a few better descriptors. I was just saying upbringing in terms of climate. I can't find it. I'm not going to go drag it up. The whole no bad vibes thing. I guess, you know, there's was a Savage Hippie, which is another podcast you should be listening to. It's over on David Cole's channel, and him and Edwin and Ann talked about this. He had this woman living with him who really kind of absorbed that culture, and she's like, you know, like, oh, something weird vibe or bad vibe, man, and that's just such a thing for them to say as Californians. So it's really funny, like, anyway, it's just really funny because it's so many of these things that everyone's trying to like make about the black people, the black race, the black that are just very particular to. They're just so uniquely Californian without, you know, race or even gender in some degrees being a part of the conversation. So let me jump over here. So, Anne, what's up? Yeah, some black militant see the watermelon. Oh, I know, right? I saw that. And I was scanning the pictures. I was just talking. I was like, oh, I'm going to say watermelon. People would be like, what? It's a cool, refreshing, low-calorie treat for hot summer days. It's like, oh, why are you eating fried chicken? Well, fried chicken can be really awesome when it's good. Yeah. But, you want to have some kind of like little comeback to stuff like that. The Greater Liberators channel, if you have not already, see Meghan's face of her mom. Oh yeah, and that's not they. I mean, they look. I'm like, yeah, they look so much alike, in like the facial features and the structure. And it's funny when I hear people go, "Oh well, it's not really." Mm. Well, with mixed race and biracial people, you kind of run into folks like, well, they don't even look like their parents, or they don't look like. I see it gets tricky because this, the way and how when it mixes and how it mixes, like the skin tone, the hue, that kind of feature, you have to see where it all ends up shaking out. But again, there's so many tells that you can see in someone's like face. Now, I guess I maybe haven't looked at enough of like Thomas alongside of Meghan. Excuse me, but I do know, but so I haven't, but if he had been if Meghan had been a boy, because again we kind of maybe square some the similarity of features against the boy with the male parent versus the girl with the female parent. I could have been missing that, but she does look so much like her. Uh, it's yeah, and I think maybe that's one thing that's really triggering certain people, especially. Well, okay, here's a little tangent note or question. Is it possible that it's so triggering to certain black women who, are out here like, well, she not cis, she not really black, and blah blah blah. All the gum flapping that's going on. Could it be that was so triggering? It's like, she's biracial, her features, the skin tone, and then like the bone structure and stuff, everything it's triggered because you can see Doria in her face, and we know Doria looks maybe more like quote unquote one of us to a large degree. Like when she does not remind me of my mom, or even parts of myself is like a fully black African American woman. So that could be. I started arguing maybe that's a big part of why, or one part of why. Excuse me again. It's so jarring and they're so yeah, they're triggered by our mom being black, but it's like you see someone that looks very, well, I don't say racially ambiguous because she's not ambiguous, but at least to me, but again, it's weird. If I remember the first time I started hearing about this, I thought, and I looked at her briefly, and I just thought, if you told me she was like Italian and like part Lebanese or something kind of like white European, but then something like not black, but not maybe Spanish, and some kind of white with a tan type of ethnicity or whatever, I totally would have believed that. I was like, oh, well, okay. It's not. I wouldn't have really done a double take until I started hearing that she's biracial. So yeah, so I think that might be, especially with black women, was so triggering. You see her black mother. Again, as many people before me have already put this week, it's not imitation of life. She's got her black mom hidden someplace in a corner someplace, and we had no idea who she was until now. She is really comfortable with sharing that aspect of herself, and hmm, shut up. So we see both sides. Well, we see this ambiguous biracial woman, but then we also see her fully black mother, and then we see them. Well, let's just look at them side by side. It's a really cute picture, the little graduation one. Um, Let me finish my point on this. Before I do that, it's really cute. I just like we have the article open. But one big thing is like the kind of whimsy in her eyes and her face. And it's funny, you kind of see that with Meghan as well. I think was it Crystal who said it? She's a very smiley girl. Just real smiley, real kind of bubbly, and this kind of bright little funness. You even see it extending back to her mom, on her wedding day. Just it's kind of like there's just kind of like this free spiritedness with them. But anyway, so there's a side by side. You can definitely see in the face shape, particularly. I think that's really strong. And like the kind of, sometimes people just like resting face, like if you see them alongside their parent, things just kind of make sense and they look, you can see the like, it's like a finger snap. They look so much alike. But yeah, anyway, there's some differences, but then it's just, if you see the two of them alongside each other, you're like, okay, that's mother and daughter. So, I'm sorry, I'm so yawny, guys. It's been a long day. Your daughter, Mary Prince. Oh yeah. Oh really? I've only listened to myself on the other end a few times. So, and I've listened to probably quite a few Simone 5-6 videos. So I wasn't sure. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, when I hear myself re-recorded back, I'm always just surprised I'm always pleasantly surprised what I sound like. Yeah, she looked more like her mom when her mom was young. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. So why do black folks insert themselves? Why can't black mothers or biracial daughters have their day in the sun without black women comparing themselves? I don't think I'm going to get into this one, but there's another Archduchess video she's made yesterday, and she kind of alluded to that. And it was really, I had to sit with this for a second. I was like, this is part of what it is. Basically, it's only where she said, MsArchDuchess said that there's too many black women, fully black women, have been nipping and kind of poking and taking the things they want from biracial women, like, wearing their hair a certain way. And I'm adding a few things here too, like getting blue or green or hazel or gray contacts, even like the Steve Harvey joke, y'all going out before y'all going out to the club at night, arguing over which one of y'all looks more like Beyonce, things like that. So some of what's so triggering or just so probably grating some of these women is the fact that it's like almost like they're in a way sadists. They actually think a lot of the black women complaining, they like this psychodrama where it's them, they get to like love and lust after the biracial woman, but then also be repulsed by her, absorb some of the things they want to take and use towards making themselves more appealing, but then they want to cast certain things off. They like this kind of psychodrama back and forth. And so when a Meghan Markle shows up, who really should, they're looking to be another Kardashian type. Even though they're Armenian, they're not like mixed with anything. Well, they're not black anyway. They want those women to show up and be the black male collective's like chosen hot piece, and they get to kind of just be there. So there's this. Someone said it also better than me, and I saw it's a comment section briefly, that this has created a disruption in the force, because what does it mean for the biracial, very fair feature, almost white passing, arguably type girl to be married to not only, so first, not only a non-black man, then we take a little further, not only to a white man, but a white man who is one of the most oldest, like goddamn powerful, family. What does that mean? She's not here to like engage in the psychodrama with you or be the, Miss Light Bright mixed chick to sit here and be a part of this thing. Let me grab my pencil because I'm learning that I need to write things down. Just to make sure I don't forget that point. I'm going to come back to that. So, let me go back around. Hear the papers rustling. Rustling. Okay. So, just moving down my little list. It's like maybe like 5, maybe 10 little points here. So we kind of talked about Doria in the 70s. And Crystalline broached that subject. So one of the big keynotes I wrote down is it's Doria's going sovereign that they're afraid of. So again, most of this discussions are situated around, well, she's not really black. She's light skinned and she's blah blah blah. And Meghan Markle is, and that's the key thing. You can, as other women better than me who have already said, you can feel how you want to feel as a black woman about Meghan Markle. That's okay. Like, you're totally fine and welcome to do that. But Doria's mother being a black woman, and then just going off the clip with CK that we just watched, the choices that she made in her teens and 20s and onward say a lot more. So that's that's what has everyone scared. It's not, oh, I think it's almost like there's this aspect in, well, it's in Wicca. Well, Wicca and just a lot of paganism and a lot of the earlier more earth magic, the kind of pre-Judeo-Christian magic. Think of the concept of the maiden, the mother, the crone. You see it kind of evidenced as the waxing moon, the full moon, then the waning moon. So the maiden, the young girl, it's usually always suggested a virgin, really bubbly, light, prepubescent or pubescent, somewhere just that kind of like, the edge of like, all those like markers we think of in terms of becoming a woman or burgeoning womanhood. So then the next phase that falls in the middle, that kind of, so that's the waxing. The waxing moon is seen as kind of emblematic of the maiden. The full moon is marked and comparable to the mother. And then from there we move into the waning moon, the crone, the wise woman. She's left her maiden years. Her full moon years, kind of like a play, a take on being a woman in full. Who's probably given birth, who has produced children, and then moving into the cronehood phase of the older wise woman. So the funny thing is, it's easy. We see the maiden in the very classical sense of literature, the storybooks, the Cinderellas, all those like stories about a young maiden woman, out of her teen years, Prince Charming, etc. And those are all fun. I mean, they can be very fun little places for women to kind of get stuck on and engage in and kind of fantasize about. It's the reason why we read those stories growing up. But I made a note to like not forget that I just made a note, don't get lost in the princess maiden aspect here. Look at the mother. And that kind of goes back to what I said about the fear of becoming sovereign. Oh, nice. Oh, bath time. Splish splash, taking a bath. Oh, you go right ahead. Oh, wow, this ginger ale is really good tonight. Okay. So I guess the next point, again, just moving through these. I won't keep you folks too long tonight. I was going to come back if there's more to say. And plus, I want to, anyway, I won't keep you guys too long tonight. So, next statement note I made is Meghan Markle and Serena Williams married in about approximately 1 year to 18 months. When I was younger, we used to go to weddings a lot. And overwhelmingly, and all the ones I remember going to, I remember the kids just thinking it was a little bit, I mean, it wasn't like strange, but it was just a little bit, And now even more so when I reflect on that, these moments of thinking, a lot of these people's ways are going to, they're in their 30s or 40s, or like they're older. And, even a young kid, everyone seems older to you. But I did know that, like they'd be like maybe their 40s or so. Some of their younger kids or some of their grown adult kids were in the ceremony with them as bridesmaids, grooms, best man, best woman, etc. And so I just made that note just basically to kind of say about Meghan and Serena is that Meghan, who has been previously married before, and Serena, who hadn't, but she had dated, I guess, Common for about 5 or so years, and that didn't go, didn't lead to the altar. And I just made a point of saying this is kind of acceleration, like seeing a biracial woman, raised by a black mother, then a fully black woman like Serena making more soda, making certain choices about marriage. And I just was thinking, with this, how many? This is one thing that's probably missing so much in this race or this community, is that we have way too many weddings of people who are quite older and who already have children, versus, this is one thing I have to make a better point of saying, but for most other groups, 18, turn 18, you go to school, or you work really well, get a good job, you meet someone in that same era, date for a year or two, you're married, you get married, and then so on and so forth. There's not these meandering like dating and courtships and potential children out of wedlock over time. So I just found that really interesting. Let's keep moving, because some of these things can always be revisited. You know what I mean? Some of my points end up being like this nice little circle snake eating its own tail. So, Doria's dreads and nose rings. She is not a hare-hatted hooligan. And again, this kind of goes back to the Californian thing. She seemed like the kind of cool mom, yoga instructor mom. Like I know white parents who are like this to a certain degree. Guys, pause. I'm just gonna grab something. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going right around the corner to grab something. Still here. Oh, yes, totally. All right, I'm back. I'm in the basement. It was like cold down here. That's how cold it was. And it was like warm and muggy today, so I like wore this like sundress. And I'm sitting here talking, fellowshipping with y'all, and I'm like, I am freezing. Oh, there's a blanket nearby. Okay. I'm wrapped up. Sorry, I was like, I cannot focus. I'm like making my points, but I'm like chitter chattering my teeth. Okay. So yeah, there's no extended baby mama dating hoods with them. They're married within a year. Uh, Serena and Alexis obviously have their one child. I won't be surprised if that's one thing I'm speculating. I'll speculate it here first. So what I think will happen is, since Meghan's 36, right? 36? And Harry's like 33. This can go a couple ways. One, I think either it'd be interesting if they were already pregnant. I mean, they're old enough, and like the first 3 months is like the kind of, you gotta see if the baby takes. You don't have like one of those like just normal miscarriages where like you're pregnant for like a few weeks and then you get your period, whatever. So it'd be interesting if they were already pregnant, and then then if we time out exactly 9 months from now, because they had a big trip that's coming up where they be showing it'd be like some good PR. She's knocked up. Look at the baby bump. How everybody loves to look at the baby bumps. I like to look at baby bumps too, so it's not like to be disparaging or anything towards anyone. But so that, or they get knocked up on the honeymoon, and then within a year you're seeing some little ones run around, et cetera and so forth. So yeah, there's not these long-term dating engagements. Like I said, the one that I used to go to in my youth at weddings. Oh, sorry, I circled back. So Doria's dress and nose ring, not a hare-hatted hooligan. Again, I guess I'll just go back to the wedding photo. Like, just comes off real simple. It's weird because it's like the kind of like thrift story type of really low key look that you see a lot of people enjoy. Like, they both not wearing pantyhose. I just noticed that they're both not wearing pantyhose in that picture. Yeah, look at them. They're just like low key Californians. Like, I just find it funny now that I've kind of gone through the notes a few times. That there's all this like, oh my god, and the blacks and the wedding and the biracial. If you just sort of close my eyes and just remove any mention of the race thing in the scriptures, but no, and I know, I would just assume they were just like some of the people I know who. Well, I would say majority of whom are white. I mean, there might be an Asian or two that I've met that this falls under, that is that is in that is into these types of things, or that would be making a blog like the TIG, or would be teaching yoga. Anywho, I think I'm beating that one like a dead horse. So let's move to the next one. I wrote down vindication of the black woman's womb / motherhood. Again, I don't have to tell you folks all the comments, all the interesting things that have been said about Black women, our motherhood, our parenting skills. I've already here put in some time and some videos weaving in and out of this discussion myself. So again, this is one individual woman who gave birth to another individual woman that is not anywhere meant to be, in a literal sense, taken across the entire race and the entire diaspora. It just is what it is. So when you consider that, and again, so I don't want to say, oh, because I do see where some people are throwing the caution, like, hey, you don't need to like make this all about, every Black woman is a queen now because a Black woman gave birth to Meghan Markle, who married Prince. So, anywho, um, but I just kind of like jokingly think this where I'd run some media the day before the wedding, the day of, and obviously on the after, and just kind of like tip my chin a little bit and say, a Black mother did this. And could it happen in any other circumstance? Of course. Because let's say, if we were just to reverse a rule and it was a Black father and a white mother, same girl, same look, same blog, same acting career, same this, same that, would we be seeing the same thing? You'd be seeing, the same person, probably to a considerable sense. But again, it's just very funny that that was one of the big things. We were such a work stewards of children, wombs. And again, this is something I mentioned, and I've said this numerous times, but I did just most recently mention it briefly, and I didn't give a good comeback as well as I would have liked to. But either the Black woman's womb is like a mini Auschwitz death camp where there's all these abortions going on, like coat hangers falling out of her cooch, or we're having all these babies, being raised poorly, stacked up in like drawers, and you know. So in a way, this whole moment, which will probably be sustained a little bit more so, but just the moment of it was kind of like a certain way of saying, oh, here we are. This is, not we, but like this is where it is. Like, okay, this is another way to consider that this is a Black woman's womb who didn't produce some thing to be hated or despised or fetted about or complained about by the usual suspects. So, let's see. Skin bleaching and butt injections. Now, I've been stuck on this it's a very brief comment by MsArchDuchess, and this is actually a video she made, excuse me, about Beyonce, and to sort of the fact that she mentioned, Beyonce, Bojangle dances for Black men. I don't know, because you already know it's from Mr. Bojangles, and just that kind of era of like maybe the step and fetch, it kind of shucking and jiving and dancing and whatever. So I guess what I'm going with that is the preference, the skin bleaching to lighten up. Well, the bleaching, here we go. I just thought of this right now. The problem with the interesting thing with the bleaching is, then you hear me say, oh, you just want to look white, you just want to look white. They know, like Michelle Obama complected, medium dark, or whatever beyond Black woman is going to ever bleach themselves to look like, what, Jennifer Aniston or something? That's just not going to happen. More often than not, a lot of the tricks and the pulls and the bleaching and the tweaks and that are more geared for the fully Black woman to get an approximation of what the biracial girls, i.e. a Meghan Markle type, tend to look like. Now, they won't completely get there, but it'll be a little bit closer, a little more feasible, and not so, I don't know, cringy if you're like literally like a medium brown or darker Black woman. And you're literally like layering it on to look like, I guess like what, a revitiligo patient, or you're really, really trying to look like an Aryan Queen. More often than not, all this teasing, you want to be like white women, you want white women. No, most of the time, and again, this goes back to one of the earlier points, like how everyone's so mad about Meghan, but a lot of these fully Black women have been picking and pruning the features and certain affects from biracial women and just leaving the rest there to be discarded for them to kind of level up and, you know, brought themselves into the competition with them against the, a lot more of the light and biracial women. So let's see. So the butt injections. This Egypt man was saying like a few videos ago that I commented on, the preference, big booty, big ass. Look at them. You can see right here in the photo. They're not fat women. They're both relatively slim and trim women at both of their respective ages. And again, I guess this might be a different conversation, but from what we can tell, she was married to a Jewish man previously for about a year or two or so, and you don't really have a story of Doria, again, look like CK has said previously, someone who'd been kind of living their life on their own terms in 1979. Uh, so I guess the booty injections are so much later, but you won't need any butt injections because you're not trying to bojangle dance for black men and or be a video vixen type. Because again, like think about the fate that would have met someone like her. And I'm not going to do the switcheroo. Who knows if it been a white mother, black father, black mother, white father. I mean, that's all. Children have their own free will to do what they want. So I don't want to just sit here and say one person absolutely raises the video hose. But anyway, so that's another point that I just had written down, that there's no the bleaching or the butt injections. And on top of that, these come off as black women who just so it's funny, the fully not the Dory isn't a fully black woman, but she's she's obviously kind of a more sovereign, divested type, just the type living her life on her terms, like going to do and teach yoga, walking her dogs, uh, having a daughter who just married Prince Harry and who is a big wine drinker and a travel guru, shopping junkie. I mean, they're not in the even just the mental Blackistani periphery to where, needing to be a little bit more light. Not that either of them needed that, to begin with, or even just, oh, I got a big enough booty. Like you could tell from looking at both, and they're not some big badonkadonk carriers, nothing like that. So they wouldn't need to be just just looking. They wouldn't have needed to be part of these discussions or be out here trying to secure some of these features and stuff. Um, that particularly black men in the black community think are appealing or attractive. uh, there's no need for them to chase these things. So I think I kind of hit the wedding style and fashion pretty well. I believe there's something that may be eluding me, but I'll just kind of come back again and say that compared to Meghan Markle's wedding to Prince Harry, and compared to her mother's own wedding to her father in the 70s, um, again, everyone who was just jumping on this is so terrible, it looks like a napkin. I think what they were missing is just the California cool style, just very low key, not a lot of flash and brass, just simple, clean, elegant. I think that works. All right. I already covered that inadvertently. Great. I don't know where this really goes. I wrote the Jolie effect because especially with Meghan's philanthropy, prior to meeting Prince Harry and the things like that she's always been a part of doing uh, and caring for. The sexy actress doing philanthropy, and there's so many different aspects of this. And I think you can name, two or three white women that you can think of and use that as an example. But and something just made me go, well, it's interesting to see a biracial woman who more people identify as black before they'll call her that. But that aside, isn't that something? Isn't that interesting? You just see the white Italian girl from New York, or Kansas, who moves to New York, gets to star shot in the film. She starts volunteering for UNICEF, and that parlays into this part-time UN thing. Still does acting. Like those things, international. Those not international, but just philanthropy in general moves you into certain directions. And I just found it funny thinking that, the blog, the food, the philanthropy, it just seems very like, oh, And I know someone had to have already said it, or probably thought this, but I can't think of where. This is what a watered flower. Oh my God, that was her parents' nickname for her. So that makes that even more interesting. The whole flower concept is really cool because this is what, when you're more watered than others, this is what it looks like, and you're able to put it in and to give it back. Oh, let's see. I wrote down scandal, and I couldn't. It's weird. I think maybe I'll just have to revisit this briefly, just to see how scandal ends, because I guess there's a clip. Oh, here, I think you've heard me prattle, chattle, raggle, rock. Let's see. It's gotta be here. Just another moment here. I think I watched an ET earlier. Okay, let's look at this.
If you write anything on your computer, Emily makes my writing better. Kerry Washington is finally opening up
Of course, they were gonna rickroll me. Fine, let's just watch it in the ET thing. Okay. Just another moment. Sorry. I don't know why this is like
stuffy. That's because your home is filled with soft surfaces that trap odor.
Now I'm losing my patience here. My patience has limits. Okay. Can I just tell you, she said her TV crush is Kerry Washington. Great. Yes. So that's she said about Meghan Markle said about Kerry Washington. Great. After that 5-minute detour, that's what she said. So the scandal effect, because we're gonna, I've said we're gonna have to figure out what scandal really meant in a weird way. Oh my God, think about it. I just had this thought in real life, IRL, minus some this and that's. Isn't the Meghan Markle's affair the Meghan Markle affair? Isn't that like the similar to or indicative of the Scandal effect when that show dropped and there was this like black woman, it was like this attorney type and solving stuff, and she had an affair with this tall Aryan Kane named Fitz. Ugh, I mean, and then that kind of was like, whoa, and it was obviously it was a fictional story, but it was able to be spread out into politics, into basically it became its own world, its own universe. So then in real life, this actual circumstance that we just watched, the Meghan Markle marrying Prince Harry, we had a few months to take it all in. Now they're like, well, I guess hell, now they're actually married. So it just made me think, well, because we need time after Scandal, but could this in a way be the real life IRL version of Scandal, like breaking? Because think about it. I mean, people who were probably a little bit more online on YouTube in particular when this all started, they saw the bed winch videos and the this and the that. Those of us who weren't there, we aren't all that keen on this stuff. But in a way, I'm gonna have to write that right now. Is this the IRL version of scandal, or just in the sense of it, of what it meant in the conversations that it stoked and created amongst Black people in particular? IRL, yeah, that's an interesting question to ask. Okay, so let's see. So I think I said what I want to say. I know it's easily been an hour, and like I said, I'm trying to be mindful of how long I talk to you folks. So you don't get like tired of me. I think I'm just gonna read the 15 points that were made in this video by MsArchDuchess. So someone, again, a commenter named who calls herself Rum Chocolates, she took the time to just condense the 15 points into like a pretty nice little note. It's in the comment section, maybe a few ways down. So I think I'm just gonna read through them and just stop if I have something to add. And I'm gonna leave it there for now because I can always come back later. Tomorrow is the holiday, so I thought about definitely doing a video or two tomorrow as well. And make this a little bit more digestible for you folks. I know I'm kind of like a little rambling, like I said before. I'm a little tired, I'm a little cold. I'm also out of my element too, in a different place. So I'm gonna, and I know I accepted the invite because it's the holiday and I kind of like want to socialize. And again, there's a couple other things I want to do. Maybe I should change the title of this. It's obviously not the final one if I intend on talking about it some more later. I know, to be honest, it was really supposed to be just kind of a reference to I should have asked you guys if you want to make some money. I would have just had you guess it. I can send you a coin or something. Anywho, let's read the 15 points video summary. The video summary list of the 15 reasons why many Black women will miss the Meghan Markle effect. 1. Black women completely miss the First Lady Michelle Obama effect and the long-standing Oprah effect. Again, just before I start reading this, just so I can reiterate this is from MsArchDuchess, and this is the video right here I have on screen. 15 reasons why many Black women will miss the Meghan Markle effect. Very, very, very solid commentary. Now, so the Michelle Obama opportunity, yeah, I even think Michelle Obama missed her own Michelle Obama opportunity. I just, knowing what we all understand about Black women, Black womanhood now, we needed someone in that position who understood that as well, who could like affect some changes or just be a pretty good. I was thinking the same. Sometimes I feel like I'm a brand ambassador for our brand ladies, and I keep that in my mind when I'm doing like many things, even though I can kind of go over here, go over there. Excuse me, guys, y'all. I'm sorry, you guys aren't boring me. I hope I'm not boring you. I'm just, man, it's been a long day. I've been up since like 6, and I did 2 Bikram classes this morning and saying the membrane. So a little yawny, but forgive me. So again, Michelle Obama, I'd argue she missed her own moment. She by not under. I see her and Brock. I still don't understand what their plan was. Just to piss off like a lot of white people over some really silly, simple mess. Get all these Negroes all suckered up to them, and oh man, we running stuff. We in the White House. Speaking of, I didn't really want to broach on this, but notice the difference how Barack Obama was black, black, y'all, and then some of these same people trying to like Meghan Markle, she not really black, it's such anybody who even is listening to this and can figure out this side of the table that I'm on, and the women and the men, I guess more women here who write and comment, that we're not buying that BS. But I just found it funny, but not funny enough to even and the long-standing standing Oprah effect. And see, I think Oprah's endeared herself more to people than anyone else. The only thing is, now I may be misremembering this to a certain degree, and I'm happy to be corrected on it. If anybody has anything to add here. Now, when Obama's ran the first time, and Sarah Palin was on the ticket with John McCain, it kind of came off like she was maybe a little bit more short with Sarah Palin, or was perceived to be that way. I just would have made sure I'd been over backwards to make sure that my core base, which I guess mostly white, lower middle or ish and above white women. Well, So I don't know. I mean, that's not even a complaint about Oprah or anything like that. It's just saying that since that's how some people perceived it in her full-throated support of Barack Obama at that time, it just, I don't know. She'd been such a household name. I would have just taken the knee and completely stayed out of the political scene, but blah. So number 2, there's an excessive focus on Black boys. Yes, yes, yes. We can all attest to that. I don't need to expand on that one any further. 3, we have a culture of praising single motherhood, which discourages care about marriage or how Black women should carefully vet a potential partner. Yeah, that's complete. There's so many missing pieces there because that's one thing. Even tying us back to the original subject matter about Meghan Markle. I mean, I don't know how many white, well, I guess mostly girls, but probably a few guys that I know who have a very similar family backstory to hers, and they're fully white people, divorced when they were about 6 or 7 or so, raised mostly by mom, relationship with the dad, etc., so forth. Um, so we do need those conversations about marriage because it's weird. I mean, everyone has their negative things, but because of a lot of choices that we make and continue to make, and we make it now for 50, almost 100 years, they just keep us hamstrung or keep our hands tied behind our back. I don't think the community, aka or deaf community, I think it's Virgo Sun's calling out is because it's like if you fix the thing, then you don't have the necessity independence that is created by you. Wow, that's a big point and a big to chew off. So there's general hateration. Number 4, there's general hateration of people towards Black women. Oh yeah, definitely. 5, the Black community has a preoccupation with colorism and race first thinking. They do. The last video I just put up, the Yvette Carnell clip. I mean, man, like, and then so then people ask like, oh, treating other like blacks on team uppers. I, there's such a level of unreasonability and just mental like most Black people that I don't even just after that last thing. There's some that's the problem with so many that I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to puncture through. I mean, one thing if you could send these Black brains to like the factory and have them reset to the factory settings, and you could just build from there. But can you imagine how to teach and get some of them to unlearn a lot of this or ridiculousness that they subscribe to, particularly the women who do it and receive no benefit from doing such. I don't. I mean, that's just such a level of stupidity and or insanity that I just kind of go. I don't even think I'd want to. Yeah, like I totally wouldn't want to have to put my brain into your brain to figure that out. So, yeah. Let's see. What's the next one? Okay, so number 6. Black women allow themselves to be drawn into ratchetness by Black men. Yes, 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 yes. And again, it's one of these problems now where everyone's deriving some type of benefit from it. Um, hmm. Grandson kicking me off computer. Watch Hello Neighbor. See you guys later on. Okay, bye, Annex. Hi, Cam, Colorado. How are you doing? Let's see. Black women's. So you're drawn to the ratchetness, and the problem is now that there's so many. It's a strange thing when people get enough kickbacks, like from the bad behavior. So yeah, you get known as Boom Shakalaka Quisha, who like swore somebody, cussed somebody out, but now you like the big bad, and I mean bad like in a good way, kind of like cool way. For like a few weeks online, you down, you this, you that. Um, and now yes, the social media culture, like these kind of fly by the moments where you get to be famous for being ratchet or just borderline famous. But it's weird because that's the it's that term in finances, diminishing return to being paid though, because for too many Black women now, you're the cash me outside girl. The key example of this, um, she's a key example of the fact that you can't that they don't need cool, sassy black girls, particularly full-blooded, dark-skinned black girls, to really be down or to really do anything anymore. They got, cash me outside type girls, other women and girls willing to jump in and play around with them in this scene. You know what I'm gonna do? Well, do you guys really want to sort of put this on for 1 second? I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a second because it's kind of distracting me just a pinch. So I just keep fiddling around with my fingers because I'm not playing anything else. So Black women's misguided involvement with the Black men's Lives Matter movement without reciprocity. Yes, 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 hallelujah. That is literally a big part of the problem here. And there's no pulling back from this now. Not to make it too like left, right, the Democrats, the liberals argument, but notice that you don't really see anything else going on with them. It was like this big thing throughout the Obama years, particularly like the mid first or into the second term, where they were everywhere. There was marching. There was always some convenient black male got shot by some cop story. It's something like that was some engineered or inadvertently engineered, and it stoked so much anger and resentment amongst mostly non-black people and then when the election happened, they were able to just shut it off, shut off the money, turn off the lights. Like no one cares about it anymore. And so black women, so if you see it, it's just a theory of mine, a loose theory. So like all that stoked up a lot of the anger or the alleged anger, the evil racist white Trump voter, and people got really sick of these things. So black women with their, again, let's read that point again because I think that's a really key thing here. Black women's misguided involvement in the BLM movement without reciprocity. Again, there's nothing being derived from it. Even up to this day, this whole Meghan Markle discussion we were watching for the past 2 weeks, a lot of what do we call them, the HMICs, the head mammies in charge, running their mouth and flapping their gums for the past week with all this stuff going on with the wedding and Meghan Markle. She did, she that, she not my sister, yada yada yada. And so it's really telling. Again, so then black women again staking themselves on the wrong side of a discussion, or if it's not that it's right or it's wrong, what are you actually going to get from it? Because they have nothing to show for being a part of BLM except, oh yeah, well, I actually that video, the Carnell one a second ago. Excuse me. Hi, Jackie. How you doing? And again, I think I said hi already, Cam, but hello again as well. So again, so it's actually from one to the other. It makes me think that there's just some things that black women just aren't ever going to learn, or too many of them is collective, and I just really could care less. You didn't get anything from being part of BLM except, see, it was a black women supporting Black Lives Matter. They were pushing them up, popping up. And the 3 of them created were lesbians. And I'm like, DeRay, he gay. And, Return All Sons gay on top of that. And then the Markle thing, like, I don't really, what is it that most you women want? It's like, I guess the Paddlehead Scooby Snacks, it said as a joke, but I mean, that's really what we're literally looking at here. Anyway, number 8, black women need to embrace global thinking as opposed to pro-black thinking. Yes, the world is completely changed. The tides have turned. The economic situation globally is changing, and I think MsArchDuchess said it. Someone else can probably have said it too. A lot of these things now. Sorry, I thought I was like warm again, but I'm not. A lot of these things it's the window's closing, and there's not a lot of time for like black women to kind of like all of a sudden get information and get a lot of these things. And like so, like the thing is globally, like there's people who live relatively well to do here in America who are definitely not black or part of Blackistan, and they're finding the training curve to get on board in a global sense a little bit daunting and taxing. And oh yes, the triggering is real. Okay, so this is actually this global thinking versus pro-black thinking. No, I won't skip. uh yeah, so so you see it already now. Like I don't know if I'm completely correct in saying this, but as far as like the internet and computers at home and the access to the World Wide Web, it seemed like that's something I didn't really watch Black people collectively doing, or like you can tell when something's gotten down to like every aspect of a certain like racial group when you see it at working class level and middle class level and above. Obviously, I don't feel like I saw the desktop computer or the laptop or having at home computers and the capabilities of the internet and what they'd be able to do to change a conversation really filtered down through Black America in a real spread out sense that it seemed like we're a decade behind. Like, or like you'll see, I remember for a long time, like I would see people with it, but they was using it to download music. They weren't reading. Now, granted, everyone sits around reading like Wall Street Journal with a cup of tea, for everyone to see. But more often than not, like you can tell kind of what people are doing online and with activities that they're engaging in and how they're using it, just like something to kind of goof around on and send text messages and stories and a little bit internet surfing. Or are you reading? Um, are you using it to better your own world and actually breaching out across the worldwide web? World Wide Web, nice. Okay, number 9, Black women have been misguided into unhealthy obesity by fixed sister propaganda by Black men. Yeah, and also I think this came before. We also add Black women too, like your girlfriend. Sometimes like women, say they have to stop being friends with certain women when they start to lose weight because they weren't the chubby friend anymore, and the other friends started to resent that. So I think it's a vicious circle with the weight in the Black race and Black community, because we have a fair amount of Black men and boys who are overweight too, and it's really sad. But yeah, so this is another reason why it gets so angering when you hear the whole Black women so fat and we so beastie and nasty, you know, she's our brag house and all that kind of music and sentiment was very common. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, like a lot of that music and a lot of that scene was geared at telling Black women, and I do kind of offhand remember some of these things being a part of the thing. Don't be too skinny like them white girls. Black women they thick, they got good curves, and they not like shaped like a boy. I want to be a woman with some of this, some of that. That was an overriding sentiment about Black women and our bodies by Black men for quite a number amount of time. And again, this is one of those things why the triggering is so vicious, is because we hear this in the music and we hear from you on the streets. Our booty, our curves, you love, you love, you love it. Then again, as I said before, you get out to some other ecosystem, and for whatever reason, now you're looking at those women and the type of flowers that they get to become, and you turn back around and look and find any little everything for us to poke at Black women about. And the weight thing is definitely one of them. And that's why it gets so like, are you serious? But again, like she said, like she as Rum Chocolate's kind of like streamlined this thought into saying, they've been misguided and they were kind of like duped. This was all supposed to be cute and fun, and this was a trademark features of us. But then all of a sudden, it's ugly, it's nasty, f you fat, overweight, Donkey Kong bitches, and it's like, wait, what? This all just like a big switch up within the past decade or two. I mean, I still remember a lot of those like songs from the '90s or so, but that was like the last decade of that before everything became about foreigns and you know foreign chicks and long, tall, skinny, white, Asian, and sometimes Hispanic women. But anyway, number 10, Black women need to separate their daughters from the predatory Black male culture, especially fatherless daughters. Agreed. Definitely agreed. There were some better points that Crystalline made in her video about Meghan Markle, her upbringing, choice of school. Apparently, she went to all girls Catholic high school, and because I know I mentioned before that we had the light girls in our class that everyone loved and who were so adored by people, and I bet things were hard for them. Like it's one thing people. I think the whole light skin, dark skin blow up that like maybe 2 months ago online amongst a lot of different camps of Black women was so triggering, because it's one of these situations where we both had to sit down and say, I've probably done, I feel this way about you, you've done bad things to me, and then the other side switch as I've done bad things to you. Let's agree to that, shake, hug, move on from it. But the toxic, the culture. So yeah, the school thing was probably key. I can imagine. Yeah, I can see Meghan Markle having been, a school where there's a lot more black boys, lusting and sniffing after her, and maybe some of the darker girls feeling some kind of way. I mean, she's only just really saying, but that's just it though. Even just all a separate sexist school, separate gender school, you eliminate some of that problem just from the get go. 11. Black women need more natural hair, ethnic authenticity. So I had a thought, I think I'm going to pull this out just for a separate video because I think it deserves a lot of things. I had to change. I've kind of changed my mind on the hair weave to a certain degree. Like, I'm not in the camp like, oh, you can't wear weave. It's not that. But, this deserves a video to itself because I think it just says, I'm just still pleasantly surprised that I had this thought. So I'm going to say that, but I'll just say this about the hair. If anything, we all need to be just on point doing it better. The weaves wouldn't be a problem if they were much more better taken care of. If they had just stayed as like something like pricey human hair that you had to spin and thrift for, not the like stuff you see in the hair stores, like all plastic and fibers, slap it in, put in a bag, put in your hair, blah blah blah. So I'll leave that there because that one deserves a very interesting point that I thought that I had that I've been I was taken aback of how I changed my mind about hair to a certain degree. So 12, Black women should work to embrace happier lifestyles so that they can smile more and reduce having attitudes. Yes. The smile thing is really something. And like I think she said, she's a really smiley girl. Hey, Ann, what's going on? Black men need to shut up about natural hair since many hated naps then and now. Thank you. Yeah, and for them, totally. I totally get it. I guess okay, I can give a preview of what I was kind of suggesting with that previous comment about the more natural hair. It's like it's like brand rehabilitation. Like sometimes I feel like I think I had to start earlier. I don't know if I said this already, but like I feel like a brand ambassador for Black womanhood. Like I think we all get so lost on like how do we fix this? What do we do? How do we change this? I think one of the big keys is us individually being Black women who just are representing ourselves as a part of a greater whole of a brand. Um, and the thing with the hair weave is like some of it is yeah, like they hate the naps. That's a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. But the other part of it is that uh, too many Black women have failed by not keeping, taking an interest in how to really care for and maintain any type of sewing, any type of, weave, any type of hair change like that. That there's been those of us who look great. We take it care of it. We don't let it get overgrown, overdone. We're on point. But then there's too many girls you see on the buses. You see them walking here, there, to and fro, and they have really just let things. They made the weave look pretty damn shitty. When you see some girl where it's half hanging out of her head, some of the stitching is off, and there's a little bit of lint there, and they're not really combing or brushing it. I mean, hey, 12 Dreams Full, how you doing? Yeah, so I think I had to kind of I didn't say walk back. I just having a slight change in mind about how, I don't say I was like militant. I was militant about Black women doing what's best for them and best for their hair. And I don't care what it is. But in particular, when she just says natural hair authenticity, that is an interesting point. So number 13, Black women need to stop following the antithetical message of Beyonce. I I have to circle that one too because I think Beyonce might deserve a little bit more, just like a nice little point by point. I think I know I've talked about her loosely in relation to other people's videos of work, but yeah, the whole "Go Girl," "Drunk in Love," went from Ms. Carter. You remember how it was such a big thing with Ms. Carter to like these like shaking it, "Drunk in Love," surfboard, the tub, and like I've been drinking. And it's like what? So that's one of the key things. Like, leave Beyonce alone. If you want to just dance to listen at the gym, by all means. But it's funny how lifestyle-y some of her music is, and how, especially by the time you get to Lemonade, it's kind of opened up to be this kind of like de facto black woman's theme song story. She had a kid by a guy. He left for a bit. He was running around town. Then he came home. She told the boy bye. I, yeah, if you're on that and you're not just listening to it just for fun, just as like a way to burn some calories at the gym or something. You're really absorbing this junk. Then you're not really gonna be you'll as the video originally from MsArchDuchess said, you're gonna miss the Meghan Markle effect. You're just gonna miss out on a lot of things. She can be wealthy, married to a man, him running around town, still having caviar, for breakfast. That's not you, and you're imbibing all this like weirdness. But so 14, black women should work to embrace sisterhood to reduce hate of black women by other black women. Agreed. That's another great point. And lastly, 15, black women need to invest in themselves in life first by waiting until they have accomplished enough self-fulfillment before taking on dependent children. Bingo, and that ties right back into single motherhood glorification. Um, and the emphasis put on by black men and black women. I mean, this has been something that's kind of, I think, I know some of you just getting on the chat, but I was saying earlier to folks who may be tuning in, I'm actually, I'm at like a party. It's not really a party. Some people playing games from out of town, and I came by, and I brought my laptop just in case. I thought I might have to dip into their basement to just like record this. I said I want to be very consistent about excuse me, going live and holding to it. And I didn't want to push it back to like midnight or something crazy. It's like 10:40 for me right now. So, I think there's a couple points in here that I do want to revisit. And on top of that, like we do the welfare single mother thing that we just kind of breached on here. I really want to do a couple. There's like two songs that they're old enough from the 90s. I shouldn't get like a copyright or anything with. If I did, I would just like print the lyrics out and you could just go get it yourself. But I want to do two song reviews from this era because it dispels this whole, well, we were just in it for the wick and the welfare. You were sitting right here alongside of us doing the same thing. Anyway, so there's a couple things out in the revisiting, but I guess the final dossier. So far, the conclusion of Meghan Markle, the wedding, the race thing, the this thing, the that thing is, I guess there is no real final here because this is going to be something that we return to. It's just the basic responses have been interesting from Black women, from Black men, from the Black community in general, and then from people who aren't Black at all. I I don't really think I have anything else to add at this point. But basically, it's been quite an experience. It's going to be very interesting to see how soon, if when, that they start producing children, and if that happens, and if they have to do it back to back because of their ages, and just seeing where this story goes. I think it could have been a lot worse. I think I'm just grateful that in the sense that it was a Black woman and a white man, not because like there's some bean counting race over here. Whose race makes the most, who can make the most mixed kids. No. But then they're yoga people, they're California people, they're laid back people. There's just this kind of energy that they exude that kind of protects us from having been a really problematic wedding or courtship. And then, I hate to say it, but the white family, they were the real den dudes in this whole story. I was like, oh man, her Black family gonna be like frying chicken in front of like Westminster or something. I really thought that. Just as a joke. But even there heard people from them, but it was the white family. They was the real crackers. The real crackers, the real den dudes, whatever you want to call them. That was funny. So I don't know. I don't really. I thought I know. Okay. I don't say it's clickbait, but I thought you might be interested if I put the final dossier in the title. Also, it was a reference to Twin Peaks. That's what I was going to say earlier. The Twin Peaks, because that was the most recent book that came out after season 3. They also put out the kind of Mark Frost and David Lynch. Well, I think Mark Frost writes the book, and then it becomes like a thing for them to use. So anyway, I do this to you guys. I'm actually I'm out of subjects. That was the kind of overview that I wanted to talk about. And I think I hit that. It's been about maybe an hour, a little over an hour. So I'm gonna leave it here. There's definitely more to come, and I think actually I might have a surprise for you guys. One of the things I want to get going is I think I might have to join Instagram or something. So I want to take pictures next week when I'm gone and not feel so away from the channel, but I know that I'm not gonna have time to. I tried that when I was in Punta Cana. Like I'm gonna make a video every day, y'all. And I was like, no, it's so hot. You travel with somebody, you just if I was by myself traveling, I could totally see like because it's just me doing my thing. But yeah, so I want to work on that. I'm really down to like literally a week from today, so I'm really kind of burning at both ends in the middle. Um, so I want to get a few more videos lined up because maybe I can just shoot them all and then like release them to you guys each day while I'm gone. So I'm putting up some content and keeping active here. And then I want to share some pictures and some fun stuff from my trip. So I should start putting a timer on. It was about 9:15. It was an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So I would like to say thank you to all of you who came over to show up on the stream and leave a comment and hang. I do definitely appreciate it. And, you know, some familiar faces. Actually, all of you who've never really been over here on the stream here. And I haven't really been streaming much lately. I've been just making them and then making them public once, they're ready or whatever. So there's definitely more to come. Hopefully, like I said, I said this like a week or two ago. Or probably a few videos like, hey, right now, this week and the week after are like kind of like, whoosh, I'm in the ringer right now. So, but once I get back and things really stabilize, the next big goal that please keep tuning in here and seeing what I'm doing. So I'd like to have a guest on. Maybe you guys, anybody here, it might be interested in doing a Google Hangout and just. I think I might want to just design something kind of loose, like one-on-one, or maybe 2 or 3 people kind of chat in a Google Hangout session and talking about issues of the day. So those are some of the plans that I have and things I have in mind. I just need to get over this last hurdle. What's that hurdle? It's a fun hurdle, but okay. I'm letting y'all hang out, y'all. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn like that, but I'm cold and I don't know why I'm in the basement, but I am because it's quiet down here and I'm yawning because I'm so chilly. But anyway, so thank you for showing up in the stream, like all of you. Annex, Cam Colorado, Jackie Zion, Ann Vogelfold, 12 Dreams Full. Like seriously, it means a lot. And please come back again. I think I'll have some time to live it up again. Tomorrow's actual Monday. So I'll probably try to put something together tomorrow just because I want to consistently make a good chunk of things before I go. So next week, if the channel's a little bit quieter, minus a few things I set up, I want to make sure I'm putting some good stuff out here for my people. So anyway, thank you guys for showing up. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna let the chat hang for a bit. I'm gonna just kind of shut it down and get my butt back upstairs. Get ready to revisit a few of these points. Yeah, I have to come back to that because when we were just talking, I was like, man, the scandal effect. I think I'm gonna have to write about that in relation to this after the series ends, which is really close to doing, and I want to cover that anyway. The hair thing is more worthy of a discussion on its own because I think I had posted in the last 2 videos. I was in that chat. I think it's Luke Force channel. Yeah, and he asked me about hair. I don't want. I guess I did cuck on it because it's weird. I cucked on it for like the right reason, but at the same time, like there's some things with the hair that I want to talk about too. Anyway, so that's one thing. The scandal effect. I'll have to come after the show is over. I think, especially since Meghan Markle simply referenced Kerry Washington, I was like, oh God. For a second, I was like, oh God, don't you say that, Meghan Markle? You're gonna get Kerry in trouble. Oh no way. She's been called bedwench whore for like 8 goddamn fucking years by this shitbag race of black men and women. I just feel, I think because that's one of the key things I want to talk about too. Because I would love for Shonda and Kerry to be honest one day and tell us how they felt for the past 8 fucking years of black people dragging them for filth about a fictional fucking TV show. It always makes me angry because I'm not them, but I bet that fucking hurt. I bet that hurt a lot. And Shonda and Carrie are both very political. They're both very Democrat. They both very like black people. they man me a little bit for my racism, my brothers, and that's the thanks they get for making a show about a fictional fucking woman having sex with a white president guy, and they're really kind of in love. The thing is, the funniest thing they always kill me about this. I can't believe I'm going on this tangent and I'm trying to get off this chat. Not trying to get away from you guys. I swear to God, it's not that. Like I said, I'm actually at a get together and I've been down for an hour and a half. But that one thing that always got me with the show was that Grey's Anatomy, which is still on, her cash cow show that I think has gone a little too long, is about a girl who's really smart. She's a doctor. She falls in love with this guy. She's one night stand, which I know he's married. And then it becomes this thing, Derek and Meredith and Derek. So like it's such a it's weird how both of the shows are kind of very similar in terms of storyline. And if anybody with two pennies of a brain could just walk over and see that that's really all Scandal is just kind of a derivative of the Meredith Derrick. It's just a different setting. It's politics. It's DC. It's really just the same story. And all the whole Bedouin Joe, white man's horror. Because think about it with the whole Meghan Markle thing. Like, are we all pretending that it's not a part of discussion and part of like the implied or overt subtext of this whole discussion? So that has to come a little bit later because I just need to see how it ends. I think it'll be a lot easier to discuss. So, all right, I'm for real serious this time. I want to go so I can get up and go do some yoga in the morning, do some more packing, getting ready for this trip, and I can think of something awesome to come and talk with you about tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be live or if I'll just record it and just try to put a few things up. I'll see where the wind takes me. So, anywho, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I know I have to say that all the time. I got to shill for myself, baby. You got to shill sometimes. I'm going to shill for myself. Anyway, much love to all of you. Thank you for showing up in the stream. This is great. More to come. I will catch you next time.